Hey everybody, Joy here. It's Monday morning, and this is a really good Monday morning. I don't know the date, what is it, 28th, maybe August 28th, 2023. Yes, I have to do a little, I'm not going to talk about the RV anymore, except to tell you this short little thing, okay? Because a lot of you are thinking we've got a lemon and it's constantly falling apart. That is not true. That is not true at all. Pardon me, I've got little fuzzy things all over my ironing board. It's not falling apart and it's not constantly breaking. We have warranty things that have to be taken on a regular basis to be done. The problem isn't the RV and what's wrong with it. The problem is the place we take it to. Like, it had some tire pressure monitors. We have this thing inside the coach that tells you the tire pressure of the tires. It has a bunch of tires. And so if one of them starts to go flat, this light will come on and it will go beep, 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 beep. So you know you have a problem with your tire. Well, a couple of them quit working. So we took it there, covered under warranty. We took it there, they took it in for hours and hours and hours and hours, did whatever they did to it, told us, well, we have to call the warranty people, blah, blah, blah. So we came home with it. So they got the warranty people. The warranty people said, well, we need to have video proof that these things have been checked, or photo proof, I don't know which. Well, they didn't take any pictures. They didn't do any videos, they didn't take any pictures. They had no proof of what was wrong and where it was wrong. So we had to take it back again. See? And so then they did something then, and then they still did something wrong. And we came home, again, we waited. Then we went back because they did something wrong that time. So it's not the coach, it's the fix-it place. They just don't know what they're doing in most cases. So as you know, Jerry and I came home very, very upset. Our coach, I could take you through the coach, everything works. Everything is very, very perfect and works fine. We came home so upset. Jerry was upset with me because I told him I was sick of that place. I didn't want to go back there again. It was too much trouble. I wanted to get rid of the RV and go back to hotels. Well, that upset him greatly because, as I told you, he really loves it. He spent thousands and thousands of dollars fixing up our property and our barn, you know, to take care of it and store it and hook it up and all of those things. So he was very upset with me, and I was serious. I mean, I was serious. I was just, and it wasn't that I hated the coach. I hated that place down there and the hassle they put us through. I mean, they'll say, we'll make, always, we make an appointment, always. And we'll come there and they're like, well, who are you? Why are you here? It's just, okay, so I just wanted to straighten that out. Oh, and then tell you this. I was very, very, very upset. And I told you I wrote this great big long email to this person who's in charge of sales there. And she's been communicating back and forth with me. And she said, well, I really don't know what to tell you because I'm not in service and I don't understand what happened. Could you please talk to this guy named Eddie? And I'm like, oh, great, who's Eddie? We never met anybody named Eddie there. Well, Eddie is the general manager of the place. He was there day one with the owner when they started it. He's been there this whole time. We have never met him, never heard his name, never knew who he was. So Angie gave us his phone number and she said, please talk to him. And yeah, Jerry called him. Jerry called him. He wasn't there, but Jerry left a message. That was earlier this morning. And Jerry had all our invoices stacked up, and he had a list of all the issues we've had where we took it in and they didn't fix it and we had to take it back. Like for one time, they fixed a windshield wiper. Well, we got home and there was a screw. Obviously, a screw was supposed to be there and it was missing. So Jerry had to go get a screw and put it in there himself. You know, just goofy stuff like that. And so Jerry went through and told the guy, and the man, he had him on speakerphone and I could hear a little bit of it up here when I went out in the other room. And the man let Jerry talk non-stop. Jerry explained in great detail. The man listened carefully. Then he was extremely, extremely nice. You would have thought he was Jerry's best friend. So, I just wanted to tell you right now, all is well. We have reported everything. There are going to be some adjustments made to the money that we paid that we didn't think we owed. And they are trying to fix the system So you can get on your phone and you can see every minute of every day exactly where your coach is and what's being done to it. So things are looking up, so don't feel bad about our RV. It's not a lemon, it's not broken all the time. So please don't think that. The problem is, this time for instance, we made the appointment. We were there exactly on time. They told us it would take 1/2 day. So get here Saturday morning, we'll fix it Saturday afternoon, you can go home. See? How long were we there? We were there Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. See? That's the problem. 4 little things, and 2 of them were those tire pressure monitor things, which finally got replaced. Okay? So, don't feel bad. We're happy, super happy. We love our RV. We've been sleeping in it ever since we got home. It's parked out here, and we have beautiful woods here. Y'all have probably seen pictures of it. And so it's like being in a real nice park. In fact, it is park. It's Texoma State Park. And so we sleep in it almost every night. So we were out last night. Woke up this morning and made my toast and made my coffee, and as happy as could be. Okay, I want to tell you that. So now I'm doing the ABC challenge with Judy Kessinger. Fit Nice Systems, and it's hot in here. I have the thermostat on 77. Hold on. We have 4 air conditioners in this house, 2 up here, 2 downstairs. So since we do stay in the coach at night and we run 3 air conditioners in it, I always turn thermostats way up here in the house, because why do I need to air condition both of them when we're sleeping over there? And then I come back and I forget to turn them back down. So I'm always wiping sweat off my lip, and I'm like, I might have forgotten to turn the thermostat back down. So I'm doing the ABC challenge, and I have found, and forgive me Judy, but I have found her instructions to often be very confusing. This is called the Jessica top, and the Jessica top is just something with a fun little collar on it. Okay? So the directions tell you to take this little place on this collar and attach it to your 1/4 inch, your 1/4 mark. You divide the collar into 4, you divide the garment into 4, and it tells you to put it on your front mark. But all the garments in the book are at the shoulder. And it says, right underneath where it says attach it at the front mark, it says now your shoulder should line up with this. Yes! So, this is my new top, and I have to put the sleeves in it. The sleeves are going to be pink. I have to put the sleeves in it. But what I have made with my super fast mind is an apex finder collar. I know, who thought? I need to write a book and tell people, if you ever lose your apex, make one of these collars. Oh, heaven help us. So, the next thing, you know my bicycle top I've had on Lucy for a long time. I thought, well, I'm going to take that off and wear it. So I took it off last night because I was trying this on Lucy to see if it could find her apex too, and it did. So I took it off, and I was holding it up to put it on a hanger and found a hole in it. A hole right here. I thought, what? How on earth did this get a hole in it? That's kind of expensive fabric that's made out of, and I love the bicycle. But yeah, it has a hole in it. And so then I went downstairs to get some laundry out of the dryer from our trip. You know, I have a laundry basket in the RV, and so I got that out, shook it all out, washed everything. And this shirt was in it. And I love this shirt. It's not, I didn't make it. It's a Walmart shirt or a somebody shirt. And I really like it because it doesn't have a seam up here that rubs on your neck, because they actually made it right. So it had a hole. It has a hole right here. I thought, oh no. What is it? Some hole-eating bugs flying up here at night when we're not here? So I found this fabric. I went out there in my stash and I thought, surely I have a flower or something I can cut out and slap on this hole. Well, you can't just put a hole down here right on your belly button. I mean, you can't put a flower over a hole right here on your belly button. That wouldn't look good. So I saw this and I thought, oh my gosh, that would be so cute. I could put that on there and I could cut it with my Scan and Cut. Well, guess what? The Scan and Cut just went crazy when I scanned this in there. It said, that is way too much for us to figure out. We can't cut that. My words, but that's what it said in some group of wording. Too much for us we can't cut out that much, or it can't, whatever. So I had to cut this out all by myself with scissors. Rotary blades and scissors. So the hole's right here. And these cute flamingos are on it, and I just love. Now I still have to sew around the whole thing. This will be sewn around with this darker color here, and so they'll stand out much better. I mean, this shirt's ancient. I've probably had it for 10 years. I should have just tossed it, but I love it. It's so comfortable, and I wear it a lot, and I really like it with my jeans. So I have to sew around those 4 flamingos. I keep wanting to call them penguins. They're not penguins. But how cute is that? Love it. So I have my Apex Finder shirt, but I'll have to call it the Jessica shirt. Or I'll get in bad trouble. And I'm going to put the sleeves in it today. And then I'm going to sew around these guys. And then that's going to be my day. So I'll be back when I'm back for another snippet. We're going to go to lunch. So look what I finally got in today's mail. My next little quilt. Oh, thank goodness. Alright, I'm going to start appliquing around, sewing around this applique. Now, I don't know if you could see on Lucy, there's actually 4 flamingos here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a darker thread around these 2. I chose them because they match the shirt. Well, they match the shirt a little too good. So I'm going to sew around those in a little darker thread. That'll make them stand out. So how do I get ready to do my applique work? I start by finding my foot, because this foot came with one of my really older machines, but it works on my newer machines. And I like this open toe foot because it's not open this wide. It's just open a little bit. So even though I'm going to use my 740 or my 520 or my whatever number they are that have really wide feet, I'm going to use this because this foot fits those machines. Okay, so that's the first thing. I'm going to use my open toe foot. Second thing is I have my iron heating up because you have to put some kind of stabilizer on the back of this before you can sew around all of these birds. So I'm going to turn it inside out. This shirt is so old. I mean, there's the hole. Can you see the hole? I'll show you how little the hole is. Can you see the hole? Oh, I know. I like to wear this, you know, as a nice shirt, and you can't wear it with holes in it. So I'm going to open up this product. This is called Totally Stable. I have a whole bolt of it. I have a whole bolt of everything, of course. So I'm going to cut a piece big enough to cover this design. And it looks like it goes. This is what I used to do Jerry's kitties with. And Viv's kitties. And you have to have paper scissors. Hold on. Paper scissor duty. Cut. Cut, cut, cut. Now, one side of this is slick and shiny. Kind of like wax paper. One side is just paper. And it's not slippery or shiny. So you want to iron down the slippery, shiny side down. It melts a little bit when you iron it. It comes off real easy. In fact, it comes off too easy. It doesn't stay on very good. So you really have to press it down. Now one of these guys' head is really up here. And I want to make sure I get it. So I'm going to iron this on like that. So I'm going to take it over to the ironing board. I'm going to iron this. Then I'm going to put some safety pins in it, probably 4, one in each corner, because it comes loose as you're sewing on the other side. And I want to make sure it stays down. Now once you get a few stitches in it, the stitches will hold it down. But until then, I want to make sure it doesn't move. I'm going to set up my sewing machine. I'll tell you exactly what my setup is on the sewing machine in a minute. I'm going to iron this down. Then I'm going to move over to my sewing machine, try to move the 15 projects I'm already working on. I mean, there's projects everywhere. There's my block of the month, blue quilt, you know, with edited sitar. There's my little quilt. There's my ABC challenge top. There's this now with the, I keep wanting to call them penguins, flamingos. So I have a lot going on, if you catch my drift. I'll be back. All right, so here I'm at my iron. How long do you hold it down? I don't know. I hold it down until it looks stuck. I'd say about 10 seconds. And it will come undone. You can come back over here and iron it back down. But like I said, once you start sewing with stitches, you'll have something to hold it. Okay, so this is the back of my shirt, the back of the front. It covers all of those flamingos. And you can see it's stuck. I keep safety pins in a very strange way, but I can get them. You can undo them one way or the other. Okay, so I'm going to pin it here at the top, right above, and I'm going to call it a turkey. Oh my gosh, that reminds me, I've got to go downstairs and get a chicken in the oven. I asked Jerry months ago to buy me a whole chicken so I could make it in my Instant Pot. He got me an 8-pound chicken. I kid you not. I'll be so surprised to get that guy in the oven. 8-pound chicken. So it is a whole chicken. I think I can wait a while. It's only 3. Sleeve, just wherever I can grab the corners of this paper, I'm pinning it down because it wants to come off so easy. It really does. It's already coming. See here? See, it's already loose. I ironed that down. So that's the nature of the beast. It's good stuff. I like it because it's real easy to tear off. It's thin, but it does a great job holding all those stitches I'm fixing to put in it. Now I'll put a couple pins down here at the bottom because you're going to be folding this up, wrinkling it up, forcing it here and forcing it there because you've got to get it under the presser foot of the sewing machine. And I'm going to sew a narrow zigzag, super close together zigzag. What do they call that? Not a fill stitch, I don't know what they call it. I'll think of it sometime. It's a cover stitch? Is it a cover stitch? An edge stitch, an outline stitch, a satin stitch, I told you I'd think of it, it's a satin stitch. See there, it's just now it feels like paper, looks like paper. So now, the next thing you have to figure out is, which bird are you going to do first? Which is the most behind bird? Because you've got to do it first. So I would say the most behind bird is this purple bird. I'm going to call it purple. I'm sure there's another word for it, but I can't think of what it is right now. What color are you? Oh, some kind of purple. And you can see the dark blue material still shows up here and there. I tried to get that off of there, but oh my goodness. It just wanted to be difficult. Now remember, it's steam-a-seam, and it's already glued down with steam-a-seam. So you want to make sure everything's down really good that way, especially those legs and those beaks. All right? Here's the purple thread for the purple bird. Here's the green thread for the green bird. And here's the blue thread for the turquoisey bird. It's a dark, so you can see it's dark enough, it'll outline the bird and you'll be able to see it. That's a good thing. And I'm going to put these on my hands because they help you hold on to fabric with these little dots. Only you got to get them on the right hand. I'm forever putting the wrong fingers in them. And I was getting them on upside down. Get my thumb in the finger hole, something. Yes, I'm 5 years old. Okay. There you go. See the little dots? Oh, see here. Now see? Did I tell you? I get them on upside down. I'm not going to sew like this. That's not right. I told you. I do this all the time. So, now the dots go here so you can move the material without your hands being upside down. Now put your thumb in the first one. There you go. Okay, so what did I do? I'm using my Bernhardt 570. I wound a bobbin. If I could figure out how you lift the foot, lift the foot. I wound a bobbin with the back of the shirt color, which is also one of the bird colors. On the top I have the purple, because I'm going to do the purple bird first. I cleaned the bobbin case. I took this off, the needle plate off, and cleaned all under it. And I oiled with my Bernina Jeff oil, that's for the black bobbin machines. And I oiled it real good. Philly and I put so much oil on these machines. It's a wonder they aren't floating away. Got my number 20 open toe embroidery foot on. I'm going to use the presser foot to do this. So you don't want to turn off the feed dogs. Over here, you know, there's always a button you push to turn off the feed dogs. You don't want to do that because we're going to use the feed dogs. But we're going to turn them down way low. I like my other machine guides because they show you how far down you are. That says 0.60. We'll see how close that is. Now the next thing I did was I pulled out the bobbin case and I tightened the screw a 4th turn because I like the bottom thread to stay on the bottom of the garment. I like the top thread to pull back to the back of the garment just a little bit. So I'm going to do a test and I'm going to see what that looks like. Always test. All right, so let's put this down and play like we're fixing to do something, even though we're really not. Let's go, Joe. All right, now we're going to do a zigzag. And we're going to move the zigzag way down. Now you can tell by the zigzag. I'm going to put it on 0.45 and turn it to 2.0. Boy, the other machines are so much easier to do this with, I promise you. That's pretty good. I'm going to turn it up to 2.5. 2.5 width. Because, you know, I've got those tiny little necks to go around. Yeah, that looks pretty good. That looks pretty good. I think I could even make it bigger than 2.5. Let's try 3. Let's try 3. Now, I'm going to make it stitch length. I'm going to move it down to 0.30 because I can see spaces through my stitches on the top. I can see spaces. Ah, yes, that looks good. That looks real good. So on these machines, if you don't know them by heart like I know my other Bernina machines, you might want to write down what you determined you want to use. Now this has no backing on it, so it's all rumpled up, but my shirt won't be. So when you look here, I don't know how good you can see this, but when you look here, you should be able to see a little bit of the purple thread coming around to the back. And you can. And on the front, you can't see any of the blue thread that's on the back. So that's good. That's good. We can get started. What needle do I have in here? I've got a Universal 8012. Now I'm using a woven fabric on top and a knit fabric on the bottom. Think about that. Think about that. A knit needle isn't very sharp. An 8012 universal needle is sharp. I'm going to put this back in because I'm sewing on a woven and it's only going to be touching the knit a little bit on the side. So I'm putting this back in here. You see how you just think about this stuff as you go? Tighten that up. Alright, so now I've got my universal needle in again. Thread it. Bring the bottom up. Always bring the bottom up before you start doing this. You may not have to in every project, but when you're doing this, bring the bottom up. Bring both threads to the top so you can control how it looks on the back and it doesn't wind up a great big bubble, a mess. Okay, so I'm going to get my shirt and I'm going to start on that purple bird. I'm going to start down here at the bottom on these skinny legs on this purple bird. Oh, such fun, such fun. I'm going to start with a straight stitch. I'm going to back up a couple stitches, and this will remember what stitches I chose. Okay, now I'm going to go back into my zigzag and it remembers what I chose. Yes, and now we're going to go, and we're using the feed dogs. Now if your leg gets wider, now I'm going to have to get some glasses because this is hard to see purple on purple. The only way you're ever going to get good at this is to do it. Now I started sewing up that purple leg right here, and I ended up having to pick it. You can't unpick, my friends, until you've picked. I don't know why so many ladies say that wrong. I picked it, and let me tell you, it was not easy. It was very, very, very tiny. So I ended up changing my stitch length to 0.85 for straight stitching and 0.50 for the zigzag. I always straight stitch beginning and end. Straight stitch here, and then I take off zigzagging. When I get to the end, I straight stitch here, just one or two. So you can see I've got the bottom of the purple flamingo done. Now the paper on the back, it's just horrible about coming unstuck. It does not stick good at all. So I put pin to make sure it stayed put, and it worked well that way as I went up. Those legs are so skinny, so the paper is definitely going to want to come off. But I think it stayed on pretty good. Yeah, you can see there, it stayed on pretty good once I started sewing. And there I had to do a patch where I did the picking and I had to cover it up because there was a hole in the paper. I keep changing. You can see here on my zigzag that I've got 2.6 width, and I don't go any skinnier than 2.5. And I've got 0.50 stitch length. For this project. That doesn't mean I always use that. It depends on the project and the fabric, and you know, I started to change to a woven needle. a knit needle, and then I put back in the woven universal because a universal is supposed to go with knit or woven. Let me give you a little update. This is the 5 o'clock update. My 8-pound chicken's in the oven. I told Jerry, next time you buy a chicken, could you get one under 8 pounds, please? So I've got this guy done. You can see how now he shows up real good, where before you couldn't even see him. See the one over there? You still can't see him. There's another one of that color on there. And the purple one's done. So now I'm going to do the green one. Now let me tell you, when you're sewing this stuff, it's going to get all crinkled up because the paper on the back, you might want to use a different kind of stabilizer. Only thing I can think of is if you used a stabilizer that didn't tear, because then it would stay together and you could baste it a little bit. This tears, so it's always coming off, and it wants to crunch on the back. So while you're sewing, you think, oh, it's all wrinkled, it looks terrible. All you have to do is go on the back and pull the paper away, and then it straightens out totally flat. I like that paper because it irons on and it comes off super easy. The problem is it comes off too easy. So this is it. I would not start this if you're a beginner. I would get something square or round or heart-shaped or easy. But I've done this 1,000 times, so I probably have really done it 1,000 times. I'm going to do this green one next because you can see the green one's behind the blue one. So I got to do the green one, and then I'll do that blue one. Now supper's going to be ready at 6:30. I think I can get this done in an hour and a half. What do you think? Good Tuesday morning, my friends. It's the 29th of August today. Yes, and I have my crazy new shirt on. And can you believe I've done it again? I've got my apex finder here on this shirt, and I've got 2 of them on this shirt. Ah! It'll give somebody something to talk about. You can see them whispering, "Oh my goodness, Madge, look at that woman's shirt. Do you see those flamingos where their heads are? Oh my goodness, you're right." Oh, the things we think. So anyway, the electricians came today to figure out why my lights keep going off out there in the attic. Something about the heat, too much heat outside is putting too much heat inside the attic, and it's blowing the breaker, and so the breaker was like worn out. So they put a new breaker in, so now I have light there. Then, listen to this. Our kitchen was built in 1998. I think that's right, 1998. And so it's 25 years old. And when we built it, I wanted lights under all the cabinets, and I wanted lights above all the cabinets. So in those days, in the olden days, if you wanted light, you had to get one of those light fixtures, those metal light fixtures that have the fluorescent tube, you know, that goes in it. And so we have, oh, I don't know, 10 of them above, 10 of them below. And these electricians this morning said, "Hey, take all of that off. You don't need to buy those fluorescent bulbs anymore. You don't have to have those metal boxes anymore. You don't have to wire every single one of them in separately anymore. All you need is one plug on top and one plug on the bottom." And like in our RV, there's strips of lights now. I don't remember what they're called, but they're the kind that don't get hot, you know. And you put them in the front underneath, and just one plug and one switch, and it turns them all. Of course, we just have one switch up and one switch down now. But we said, yes, 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 we'd just love to get rid of these things. Remember the light in the laundry room? Jerry bought one, it didn't work. He bought another one, it worked. He spent many, many, many hours doing that himself. So, yeah, I wish we had known about the strip thing when we were doing that underneath that cabinet. So think about that if you want to update your kitchen and get an easier kind of lighting. And they've got like several different strengths. You can pick, I want them to be dim right now. I want them to be brighter right now. I want them to be real bright right now. So that is really cool. So I'm excited about that, the things you learn. You know, in 25 years, they should have invented something better than what we had. I've got my little quilt. Billy's got hers. So this Thursday when we Zoom, we'll probably start on our, what's this one called, Little Cabin. I don't know that I like the shape that it's in. And I know you can take these log cabin blocks and turn them a whole bunch of different ways. So I don't know if I'll do that or not. But, you know, I like to make mine a little bit different. We'll see. It's so small, you probably don't have a whole lot of choices in how to arrange those blocks. So, I'll let you go for now. I'm going to get the sleeves put in this, and I'm going to cut the sleeves off. Here's my sleeve. I thought I had one pinned together. Here's my sleeve. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut the bottom off of it, and I'm going to cut a cuff out of this and put it at the bottom of the sleeve. So then I'll have the apex finder collar and the 2 cuffs. So I think I won't never win on the ABC challenge, but I'm going to make something anyway just because I think it's fun. Here it is. Here's the apex finder collar and the 2 cuffs. Now I picked this print because it has pink in it. See pink? Unfortunately, it doesn't have a lot of pink in it. But I've got some pink. I may have put my cuffs on with the pink against me. I meant to look for that, but of course I didn't. Not hemmed up yet. Not sure how long I want it. Again, the instructions were confusing. The directions say to make the cuffs 1 inch wider than the sleeve down here at the bottom. I don't know why it would say that, because I like to pull my sleeves up, although even all the way down they're not bad. But if I want to pull them up, I want them to stay, see? So I don't know, to each his own, different strokes for different folks. Oh, anyway, I like it. What do y'all think? I like it, and if I kind of keep that like that, it's not quite so, you know, obvious. I don't know what the back looks like because I don't have a mirror. And here's the fabric I use. This is real pretty fabric. It's an ITY. Can you see the pinks in it now? I wasn't sure if I wanted to make the blouse black and the collar pink. I decided to do it this way because this is more slinky. This is a cotton knit and this is an ITY knit, and this is much more drapey. So I decided to use the drapiest part for the collar. So I hope that looks good. I'll go show Bernhardt's. We're going to have leftover 8-pound chicken. I'm telling you, I couldn't put that thing in my Instant Pot, but I cooked it like a turkey, and it was delicious. So I'm going to make some chicken breast sandwiches for lunch and watermelon for dessert. I'll be back. It's 4:30. I've got to go downstairs and do my exercises, but I wanted to show you, I've been working on this top most of the day. I had to do some changes to it, a little extra stuff. I would not make it exactly like the directions in the book. Go ahead and make it that way if you want to. It's a Jessica top. It may turn out perfect. You may have different fabric that lays differently, but I had to do some things. I had to do what I always do, and that's take these tucks at the bottom, because when I make it big enough for my tummy and my hips, which are right here together, it always just wants to hang off like a cliff right there, straight down. So I like to take it in here at the bottom with these 2 little tucks, so it wraps around me, holds a little bit closer to me when I wear it. I think it looks better. It's got some marks down there that need to be removed from my friction markers. Sometimes when you iron out your friction markers, they leave a white mark, but it washes out. So don't worry about that. Next thing I would do, on the cuffs, I would interface them. They're too slinky, and they're fine, they'll work, but I think they would have been better if I had interfaced them with a light interfacing. The back just does whatever it wants to do back here. That neckline, ooh, I still have threads on this, look at that. You never get done pulling the threads off your quilts, my friends. My goodness, that is something. I made that long ago, back when my daughter was really, really nice to me. So, this is the Jessica Top Fit Nice system. I have an FBA in mind, but you can see by the wrinkles that I actually need a bigger FBA. Taking these tucks in the bottom helps a lot. That gave me a bigger FBA, actually, taking these tucks in the bottom. So I need to take a picture of it to send to the ABC challenge. I'm sure I won't win anything, but at least I participated. What do you win? You win some needles, you win some classes from Judy, you win a coupon for some fabric, and some scissors? Maybe some scissors or a coupon for scissors. I don't know, y'all go over there and check it out. FitNiceSystem.com if you're interested in making. You can make a joy top. I already have 7 joy tops, so I decided to make a Jessica top. Make a Jessica top, a joy top. There's 2 more J's, I think. One's a jacket of some sort. I forgot to tell you another tip, I think. This point wanted to completely fall down flat, like the one in the back's probably doing, but I don't have boobs in the back. So this point kept wanting to just fall down where I didn't want it to be. So I actually tacked it from the back. You can't see it. It's just a little bit, one little stitch of black thread. Holding it here, and holding it here. So now it's not going to fall down and, you know, you know. That's all. Hey there, it's Thursday, and Philly didn't want to Zoom today. Philly's trying to get her house all ready to put on the market and sell. And she's cleaning like a tornado, up on ladders, up on countertops. I'm like, no. Does she listen to me? No. I wish I could be there helping her because I love to clean. That's my thing. I guess that's why people think my house is clean. I just like to clean. I consider it like aerobic exercise. Vacuuming and mopping and moving the furniture around and dusting, you know. You get your exercise plus you have a clean house. So guess what I'm doing? Don't tell Jerry. He knows his kitty quilt is on this long arm, but he doesn't pay any attention. He doesn't care. So his birthday's coming up again, September 30. So I thought I am going to get this kitty quilt done for him. I may have to call my friend Jeffrey in California to help me with the borders. He's going to yell at me because he already helped me before, but I already forgot what he told me. So I want to get it all done. I've got all the kitties quilted except for the orange kitty. So I went and I got the orange ice accord thread to match the kitty, and I have taken my green friction marker and lightly marked what I'm thinking about doing. It never comes, I threw my glasses, hold on. My stitching never comes out exactly the same as my marks, but it gives me an idea of what I want to do. So I'm finishing the green cat over here. He has all his fur in. I just have to go around his nose and his whiskers, and this green cat's all done. All other cats are all done, and all I have left is this orange cat. Then I can zoom, getting the books done and the backgrounds done, and then the borders done, then the binding done, then get it in a box. I might put it in a box. I don't know if I want to put it in a box or if I want to hang it on the wall and bring him up here and surprise him. I don't know what we'll do. We're going to be gone for a couple weeks in the middle of September, so I've got to get it done before we leave town. Okie dokie, I just wanted to say hi. I don't know, I thought, oh, those are such boring snippets. That goofy penguin shirt, what are they called? I don't even like it now. I thought I should have started with just a rose at my belly button. I don't like the way the two heads curl around. It's just weird. So anyway, it's good enough to wear around the house. Oh, sometimes when you use the friction marker and you write on fabric and you go back later and you iron it out, it leaves a white mark. Kind of a shadowy type thing, white. It doesn't matter as long as you wash it off. It will wash out. Sometimes it doesn't iron completely away, but it does wash out. I have my new little quilt, and Philly and I, if we were Zooming today, we'd be working on the new little cabin quilt, but we're not Zooming today because she wants to get done. But we do have a date. We do have a very important date. Yes, I don't know if anybody that watches me knows where Kingfisher, Oklahoma is, but that's where Jerry's mother lived, and his grandma lived there, and his aunt still lives there. And it's just a little town. It's about 45 minutes away from Edmond, Oklahoma, where we used to live. Maybe an hour away, bad traffic. But I went there almost every single day, actually lived there for probably 3 months and went back and forth for probably 6 months, taking care of her and getting the house ready to sell after she died and things like that. So there was no quilt shop there. The closest quilt shop was in Hennessy, Oklahoma, which was another 30 minutes away from past Kingfisher, maybe 45 minutes. So if I had to have a quilt shop, I would go there. But I don't like to drive long distances, and to me, if it's over 15 minutes, it's a long distance. So, sold her house, didn't go back to Kingfisher for a long time until Jerry's brother died. And when his brother died, we went there and planned his funeral and did the funeral. And I told you, remember I told you Jerry's cousin was sitting with us at the table, and I was finishing my hamburger, and she was done eating, and her mom, who is Jerry's Aunt Betty Jane, just love Aunt Betty Jane. and she was sitting right next to me. And so her daughter, Marianne, came up behind me and she whispered and she said, "If you'll hurry up and get done eating, there's a quilt shop right next door and it's open for 15 more minutes." Remember that? And so I was, yay, threw my hamburger down and we went over there. And the nice girls, it's called the Quilt Lady. That's the name of the shop, the Quilt Lady. And the Quilt Lady wasn't there. It was a Saturday. And the two girls that were there kept the shop open, probably another 30 minutes, because I was buying a whole bunch of fabric to make my 2 4th of July patriotic quilts. Remember the eagle quilt I made? I got all that fabric there. And then there's another eagle quilt and I got all that fabric there. I think it's stars or something. The one I'm going to put some fireworks on. I don't have that one done yet. That may be my next project next year or the next year. Some year. Anyway, it was a little bitty, just like it was a row of shops, and next to it was the little restaurant, very little restaurant we were eating in. And it just, you open the front door and it just kind of went straight back. You know, it was just a narrow, very small shop. Well, they bought a building. It was an old feed store or something in Kingfisher. And it's way big. And they totally remodeled it and now they moved into it. And so I want to go there. I want to go there so much. So Philly is going to get her house on the market, and after she does, I said, "Hey, why don't you meet me in Oklahoma City, and we can take a trip to that new big quilt shop in Kingfisher, Oklahoma." And she said, "Really? There's a big quilt shop there?" She has to come to Oklahoma City to do some stuff. You know, her husband died recently, and she's clearing up all the, you know, a million things you have to do. And so she had to come to Oklahoma City, and she has a son that lives there, so she always stays with him when she comes. So she said, "Oh, sure, let's do that." So I don't know if it'll happen or if it won't. Everything is. Maybe we can do it and maybe we can't. Maybe it'll be pretty weather, maybe it will be a tornado. Who knows? But we have a plan. So if she comes and we do something, I'll do a little shot of us in that store or something. I know they won't mind. They didn't mind before when I took pictures in there. Okay, that's all I have to say. I'm going to go ahead and put these snippets up because I just need to before I bore you all to death. I can't get a video up if I don't stop and edit it and get it up on YouTube, so I'm going to do that. So I'm going to say goodbye for now. Have a lovely rest of the week, and I'll be back when I'm back.